Welcome back to my stock portfolio, and today I wanted to go through 3 stocks that I regret selling. Overall, I typically speak about the highs of my portfolio and when things go up, but I also like to speak about when things go down. I've made some bad sales over my time, and I've also made some good buys, and today I wanted to highlight 3 of my most recent bad sales that I regret selling, at least when I sold them. You'll find a lot of these positions are pretty similar, and they're all in the same industry, as it shows in the thumbnail. The first of which was actually Amazon. Amazon is a stock I used to hold a much bigger stake in. As you can see, my equity is only down to $62 right now, and is laughable size. Overall, this stock has been through many highs and lows, and if you've been an investor for it for a long time, you would have ridden through this downturn before it's had its more recent upturn. Overall, after the stock splits, and my average share price is only $133 a share at the moment, and I'm actually in the green now 10% after all the ups and downs, but my portfolio and my position in Amazon is so small at $62 that it means I'm only up $5.72. You can see I sold out a little bit here and some earlier, and I sold out almost half of what the position is now, due to me wanting to get out a bit and have some extra liquidity to invest in other companies that I believed in a little bit more. Overall, looking back now, Amazon has had a great resurgence, up 8.3% in the last 3 months and up nearly 18% in just the last month alone. If I was to have held those positions, I would have had a much better return, but I decided to sell out when I did, and that is something I look back on now with a little bit of regret. Overall, I still am invested into Amazon, but my position is so small, every episode I seem to speak about potentially selling out and investing my money elsewhere. The stock has had a 55% return this year, and is something I've missed out on, and is something that has resulted in my portfolio only being up 16.5%. The next position which I sold out of is Google. Out of the 3 positions, this is the one I still hold the biggest share in, at 536 USD. Currently, my position's only up 1.94% and a measly $10 as I own 3.87 shares. My average share price is $135, and currently the stock is trading at around $138. Looking back, I did a larger sale here of $180 and some earlier ones as well, but I still managed to keep a good chunk of my position at $536. If you're a Google investor, similar to what happened with Amazon, you would have run through this big downturn before the most recent spike all the way back up. Like Amazon, it's had an amazing year, but up 40%, and my position is only up 2%, so you can see I was the definition of buying at a high and selling at a low. I exited out of my position right before it went back up, like my Amazon position, to get more liquidity to invest in other stocks that I believed in more, like Microsoft, Apple, and VOO. Looking back now, Google's in a great position with AI and all their technology and constant revenue streams, where I probably shouldn't have sold out, or at least sold out when I did, and I should have probably held on a little bit longer. Whilst my position has gotten smaller, it's still a decent enough size to where if I do sell out, I have enough money to invest and increase my position in something that I prefer. I plan on holding this Google position for now until I make a decision of where I want to put the money, but overall, when I look back at it now, it's something I do regret selling out of when I did sell out of it, and I actually wish I invested more whilst it was under $100 a share. The final of the 3 positions is Meta, and this is the stock I regret selling the most. As you can see, Meta is currently sitting at $341 a share, and if you look at the last year's returns, it's over 200%. Here I was, holding Meta during this time back in 2021, and then selling as it dipped here and had the massive fall off after the whistleblower saga. Like an idiot, I decided to sell out of my entire position and then not add anything back. As you can see, here are a few of the sales. A sale of 121 and a sale of 217. Keep in mind, that was the value of my sale as the share was dropping, so as it was worth a lot less. Back around these times, the stock was worth a lot more and my position was a lot bigger. Me selling out in 2022 to get a bit more money to invest in other companies resulted in me missing out in this 200% run up. Looking back at it now, one of the reasons I decided I didn't want to be heavily invested into Meta was at the time there was a massive focus into the metaverse and other projects that I was not a big fan of and I deemed as burning money. Facebook then decided to focus up, have a bit of a change in the company, change in its title, and change in its outcoming. They started to have a bit more of a focus on what got them to where they were and stepped back a bit from the metaverse. This resulted in a great run up for the shares and a great time for investors, something that I missed out on. Looking back, what it taught me was to not just when I was selling out here, but when I was buying in. I was buying into a story and buying into more of the hype than what I was in the actual fundamentals of the company and a strong understanding. Going through my portfolio, one of the main things I can learn from that time is that I need to be invested into strong positions that I am encouraged to buy into in a dip compared to selling out when they dip. Now looking at my portfolio, I've invested into a few more companies that I'm a lot stronger belief in. The likes of Costco, Microsoft, VOO, even McDonald's, a very recent purchase of mine that's seen great success, up 10% in the short time. But learning from my mistakes is how I'll continue to grow this portfolio. These sales, as you can see, I've not done many over my time, and most of them have been in my tech stocks as I tried to diversify away, but they've taught me a lot. And with the money that I used to sell those positions, I invested it into other companies that have also seen growth, so it wasn't a complete miss out, but it is something I want to learn from going forward. I will continue to track all these videos with my monthly and weekly portfolio updates, so hopefully in the future there won't be as many, but it is inevitable that I'll have bad sales and hopefully good buys to balance out my portfolio's returns. Currently, the portfolio is valued at over $20,000 and I'll continue to make these videos as I try to grow it to $100,000. That was all for now as I reflect back on 3 stocks I regret selling.